Ooh. I don't even know what that means. So by the way, this is definitely a bucket list item right here, standing under the Friars Club sign here. So good evening, everyone. My name is Kirks Wilson. I'm the best man of the groom. Before I begin my speech, which was going to be full of all these nice, things to say, and I was going to talk about how they met, but everyone's already covered that tonight. All the nice things are out of the way, so I did want to say, though, thank you to the families of the bride and groom for making this night possible. Obviously, if it wasn't for you, they would never be born. It has truly been a wonderful evening, one that we will all remember. Barbara and Robert, congratulations to the addition of Kelly to your family. To Kelly's parents, Len and Kim, Jeremy does not come with a receipt. Also, I just wanted to say quickly to Kelly that you look absolutely beautiful tonight. Nice socks, Jeremy. So, Jeremy emailed me and the other members of the wedding party earlier this week to give us a very detailed agenda for the night's festivities. I was scheduled to give my speech from 8:38 to 8:40. Unfortunately for you, Jeremy, my brevity is not my strong suit, so I apologize in advance for already going over the 120 seconds. So, here we are at the Friars Club, which for those of you from northern Michigan, North Carolina, and wherever else you came from, is a New York institution that happens to also be a birthplace, or the birthplace of the roast. For the benefit of those that might not be familiar with what exactly a roast is, here is the official Wikipedia definition. For those of you that are not familiar with Wikipedia, I can't help you. It probably correlates with those of you from northern Michigan. I'm going to be the asshole tonight. So, a roast is an event in which a person is subjected to a public presentation of comedic insults, praise, outlandish true and untrue stories, and heartwarming tributes as a mock counter to a toast. The implication is that the roastee, Jeremy Willinger, is able to take the jokes in good humor and not as serious criticism or insult, as it is seen by some as a great honor to be roasted. The individual is surrounded by friends, fans, and well-wishers. So, not only am I the best man tonight, but I'm also the roast master. It's an honor to stand in the same place where such icons as Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, Richard Pryor, Billy Crystal, and Jeremy Willinger have not only been honored, but have also been ripped to shreds and made a fool for the pure entertainment of all you people. But since it's Jeremy's special night, I promise to take it easy. I remember the first time I met Jeremy. The date was November 25th, 1998. Kelly was barely out of the womb. I actually just came up with that one right now. That was not even written. And he came up to visit one of my housemates and fraternity brothers, John Shapiro, who's also here. We were students at the University of Albany. We were all headed to see the jam band Fish play at the Pepsi Arena. Jeremy walks into our house, and I didn't really know what to make of him. He was dressed funny. He looked like a cross between a 12-year-old Fred Savage from Wonder Years and a frog. Desperately trying to grow facial hair, wearing corduroy pants and a flannel shirt, looking as schlubby as can be. We got to know each other that night, had a great time, and from what little I can remember, the haze of what is otherwise known as my memory bank, little did I know that evening that it was going to be the beginning of a 16-year friendship. Page 2. For those 16 years, I've grown to know Jeremy like a brother, and I've grown to appreciate the uniqueness, no matter how quirky, strange, and unusual that he might be. I'd like to take you through some of those characteristics. 1, Jeremy is, how can I say it, methodical with his money. Frugal and thrifty are his middle names. In fact, Jeremy took the bus to his wedding tonight. I've seen him pick pennies up off the dirty streets of New York for good luck. Tip otherwise good waiters well under 15%, I'm sorry to the staff. And he always seems to forget to have cash on him when it's time to pay the bill. How convenient. Jeremy loves to wheel and deal, and will even try to negotiate the price of a pack of gum if it means he can knock off a nickel. Jeremy also has a very unique sense of style. When he was 5 years old and watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, it was like a light bulb went off and he said, aha, that's my inspiration. He always knows when there's a sample sale in town, and few things make him prouder than finding that unique velvet blazer, those checkered wool pants, or that silk ascot that just begs for him to take him home. Yes, people, he likes to wear ascots, and for those of you that aren't familiar, it's something that only a family dog or a member of the village people should wear. Kelly can attest, as Jeremy has literally put together her entire wardrobe since they started dating. If anyone is looking for fashion advice, he's your man. We're about halfway there, I'm sorry. I told you, I don't follow schedules. To pass the time, Jeremy likes to watch Judge Judy. In fact, it's probably his favorite show on TV. He's watched almost every episode ever aired, which, based on my calculations, equals roughly 70 full days worth of TV time over a lifetime. That's over 2 months. He always enjoys spending his weekend afternoons touring subway tunnels, bus depots, and train stations. And when he's not walking the streets of the Upper West Side, he's plotting his next Citibank adventure. Jeremy's weekly agenda is certainly eclectic, to say the least. Jeremy is also a lover of cats. No straight man should ever own cats. Visiting his apartment is like walking into an orgy of dander and cat hairs. Given Jeremy's meticulous sense of style and his fascination with cats, I always thought that Jeremy played for the other team. Not that there's anything wrong with that. My parents were in Woodstock. It's very liberal. But I always thought that Jeremy was just as likely to marry a Kevin as he was to marry a Kevin. This is a roast, people. And I've seen Jeremy offend, anger, or annoy hundreds of people for reasons such as mistaking a Bengali for an Indian, cutting old people in line, cursing at children, laughing at people, talking in the movies, and countless other offenses. He's like Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm, minus the humor and occasional euphemism. These experiences at times have been frightening and embarrassing for those of us that are with him. Guilty by association, I guess. Now, one might ask why a guy like me would be friends with a guy like Jeremy. Well, he and I definitely share a lot of interests, minus the cats and ascots. We are both obsessed with going to the movies, and I've spent more hours of my lifetime in a dimly lit theater with Jeremy than I care to share. He's the Siskel to my Ebert. We take great pride in getting the perfect seats, spending 2 hours sitting next to each other and getting lost in the story on the big screen, and then capping it off with a beer as we discuss our thoughts and opinions of what we just watched. I estimate that we've gone to at least 150 movies together. Now, our taste in movies can be sometimes questioned. Just Google the human centipede, and I swear it was his idea to pay to see that atrocity of a movie. Another thing we have in common, strange, but our love of zombies. Jeremy especially is obsessed with zombies. He's seen every movie related, he's read every book, and he's spent countless hours putting together his survival plan for the eventual zombie apocalypse. In fact, he secretly hopes that the Ebola virus is really just the initial onslaught of the zombie apocalypse so he can test out his evacuation plans. When you put his obsession of movies and zombies together, it leads to a 4-hour bus ride from New York to Boston so he can come visit me last summer and see the opening night showing of World War Z. Only to take a 4-hour bus ride back to New York 36 hours later. That's dedication. Speaking of travel, we've also traveled throughout the East Coast for Phish shows, and of the 50 plus shows I've seen in my lifetime, I'd say that almost all have been with Jeremy. Jeremy is obsessed with Phish, and I'm talking about the band, not the food that's high in omega-3. Jeremy has seen far more concerts than I have, but what always brings me back to these shows more than the music itself is the opportunity to spend time with him. I can't tell you what song they opened with at the reunion show in Hampton, Virginia in 2009, or what they closed with at MSG in 2012. But what I will always remember are the countless road trips, tailgates, laughs, adventures with my amigos. Jeremy, of course, has been a big part of that, and those are priceless memories that I will keep with me forever. Jeremy and I always think the same thing, our warped minds intertwined. I often know exactly what he's thinking and vice versa. I have an appreciation for his wittiness and enjoy his social commentary and ability to point out the funny things in life. There are more funny stories and experiences and memories of laughing myself silly with Jeremy than I can possibly share, but beyond just the good times and funny stories, Jeremy has always proven to be a great friend. He's someone that I can count on to listen to when I need to vent. He finds joy in the success of others, and he's always there when you need him. He's a great sounding board and listener, and he's always happy to provide advice. His appreciation for life is infectious, and he's able to find joy in almost any situation. He's reliable and consistent. And what I admire most about Jeremy, besides everything I said before, is that he is comfortable with who he is, and he never tries to be someone that he's not. It's really his individuality. It's take it or leave it with Jeremy, for better or worse. He keeps it real and always tells it like it is. Jeremy, you've become like a brother to me, and I am honored to be your best man and your main G. Finally, I just want to say to Kelly, I couldn't be happier that you found Jeremy and that Jeremy found you. Jeremy has a lot of love to give in his heart, and I'm glad that the two of you found each other so he can give that love to you for the rest of your life. Knowing Jeremy for all these years and seeing him as happy as he's been since he's been with you is certainly a blessing, and I just hope that the two of you continue to build upon that foundation that led to this night. I'd like to ask everyone to raise their glass, and I wish the two of you all the success, happiness, health, and wealth that life has to offer. Mazel tov.